Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Georgetown Athletic Complex here on the campus of Georgetown High School. We're live inside the locker room right off the Birkelbach Field. Media Day, Georgetown Eagle football. Holden Tuma joins me along with Dave England. Kelly's on the backside of the camera working with the players right now, just getting stuff ready for this game. I tell you what, we're 2 weeks away, Dave. We come in ready for another season here on the First Responder Broadcasting is the new name for our group. We are on the SHN Sports Network, and we will stay on the SHN Sports Network. So SHNSports.com, the YouTube channel, will be where you'll find Georgetown Eagle Sports the rest of this year, but we'll be doing it as First Responder Broadcasting. We have branched on our own away and under our own kind of umbrella, but alongside Carl Schoening and Rob Hipp, the owners, but to bring you our spin on it. And we have taken over this program of Georgetown, and, man, we have been looking forward to it. As Kelly, I got to mention it, Kelly, talking to Seth Warren, one of the linebackers returning studs on this team that had a great year last year, steps in as a junior this year, changes the number to 9. We'll get to that. But Dave, another year. Today it just starts. It's got that feel now that we're 2 weeks away from a Friday night football game and get the season under fire.
Yeah, doesn't feel like fall right now with the 105-degree temperatures, but it's just nice to step out of the locker room and be out on the football field. My daughter and I walked out there a little bit ago, and it's never a bad day to be here at Birkelbach. So super excited about this season. We've got Meet the Eagles coming up this next Saturday. There's still tickets available the 19th, so come out to that if you're interested. And, then after that, we scrimmage Rudder the following Thursday. I think it's the day school goes back, right, the 17th?
17th or 18th, yeah,
17th,
coming up.
So I believe that's on a Thursday night. And that's here, right, Wally?
Yeah, it is at home. So
yeah, super excited. We've got a lot of returning talent. And, as always, Georgetown reloads. Every year that we went up to practice on Monday morning. We got to see some of the behind the scenes, and I got to come to practice this morning, and I saw them actually running a lot of plays and stuff. Didn't take any pictures, video, don't anything getting out, but it's nice. I think we're going to be in really good shape. We've got 5 returning on offense. Speaking
of returning, Dave, we see here, Kelly, in our background, we see the quarterback coming back on his senior year here, Noah Boris, and we'll have Noah join us here in a little bit. We'll talk to him. Noah came in, played a big role last year, came in the third game of the season on a backup deal where Tucker Griffin goes down, the starter with a broken collarbone, out for the season. Noah Boris steps in and comes out being named an all-state quarterback. But things that stay the same and then new additions, and we reload, and talking about that here at First Responder Broadcasting, Dave. We bring in Holden Tuma. Last year he was behind the scenes, a statistician. Holden joins us full-time this year on the football broadcast, and we'll have –
Well, you chat with him. I'm going to go track down Noah. He's trying to disappear on us.
And we add in Holden Tuma. So Holden joins us now. And Holden, you're going to stay with us full-time statistician. We're going to add some more features on to our broadcast, and so we're excited to bring you along with us. We all had a blast coming and visiting at graduation with you and bringing your official headset and welcome you to the team. Talk about coming back now. It's going to be fun. The booth's going to be a different atmosphere now. We're going to have you on a headset with us pre-game, during the game, sometimes at halftime, a special first-half stats with Holden and one of us every game. How exciting is this to get back into the mode? I know we looked at it and we hated it when it ended last year. Welcome to the team, first and foremost.
Yeah, I mean, I'm absolutely excited to be here. Ecstatic to be here. I've waited for this day for, honestly, my whole life. I've wanted to be a broadcaster since I was pretty young, and just being in this moment, it's a lot. So I'm gonna do my best to make you guys all proud, make you guys not regret the decision of bringing me on, making sure that everybody knows that I belong here.
And we have Kelly, so if we have regrets, we already have that problem there.
Yeah.
As Kelly DeVoll is on our team anyway. And look at that, man. We talk about football and the excitement of it. We're going to pull him right in off the bat. Number 13, the senior linebacker. It's Landry Leggett. He'll join us. And now, Landry, it seems like every time I see you, you continue to grow. You get taller and taller. How excited is this team? You're looked at as one of the big leaders this year.
Yes, sir.
Your third year on the varsity. You're going to be stepping into a major role here with the Georgetown Eagle football team. But this year, one of the big leaders and one of the returning starters on defense. How are things going in practice, and how excited are you to get underway in your senior year?
Oh, I'm really, really excited. Just going to this last week of camp, 2 days. Energy's up there. Everybody's flying around. Really excited. We got a big chip on our shoulder, but I think this team can push us far into the playoffs. and still very young. Got some guys still stepping into some roles that we need, but I'm excited. I think we'll do some great things this year.
You come back on a defense that returns 5 starters. Michael Valenta comes back on the defensive line. But then you got a sidekick beside you. Seth Warren will be one of those linebackers that saw a lot of time with you guys last year as a sophomore, now as a junior. Then you got Leo Diaz in the back. O.C. Presley out back there. You got Mason Goggins. Different players coming back here, the key components. Fill in the other gaps. You talk about losing 3 of your offensive linemen. Daniel Obina's gone. You talk about Brandon Hawkins. You talk about losing players like that in Lewis off the linebacker corps. How important is that for these kids to step up, these newcomers? And what challenges that as you as a leader, if one of the leaders on this team, to push them and to get someone to step into those roles and be ready to go on the first snap on Friday night the 25th?
Yeah, I think despite us having a very young team, I think it challenges us leaders like me, Michael, Andrew, Noah to step up as leaders and, encourage everybody else to know that we can be a great team, and if we all step into the roles that we have, we can go far as a team. And I think the more energy that we bring every day in practice and the more leadership we bring, I think that encourages the younger guys to even step in as leaders as their own, and that's what's going to make this team better.
The Leggett legacy at Georgetown High School. You've had some brothers play before you, all talented football players. You step in as one of those talented football players that carries on that Leggett name. How big is this senior year for you personally to just continue to, one, you carry a name on your back and with you each and every day that everyone knows here in Georgetown, that anyone knows anything about Georgetown football, the Leggett name is known. How big is that, and how much pressure do you put on yourself this year coming to your senior year to have a great season and to be one of these big leaders?
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit of a chip on my shoulder. I take it every day as not just to, finish out with our name as to leave a great legacy through Georgetown, but just to leave a legacy of my own. Definitely have a little bit of weight on my shoulders. It's senior season last season, but I want to enjoy it and give it everything I got.
Landry Leggett, your seniors. I don't think it's even a hidden gem. He's a starting linebacker for this Eagle team, and he'll be out there, one of the key components. It's going to make this team tick on the defensive side of the ball. Landry, thanks for joining us. Enjoy the next couple of weeks because it's going to be showtime before we know it.
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll see Landry Leggett later in the season on the Coaches Show, so make sure you join us there. We'll take a quick timeout. We come back. Try to sneak in maybe a quarterback known as Noah Morris here in just a minute on the First Responder broadcast here on the SHN Network. We're back here live in the locker room beside Birkelbach Field. Media Day here, 2023 season. Really, things starting to roll here. Man, I tell you what a treat here. Joining us live on the Media Day show on my right, your left, Noah Morris, the senior quarterback who will be the play caller here for the Georgetown Eagle team. And the man that really doesn't need any introduction, but a stud running back who's been here. This is his 3rd starting year at the helm, running back in the backfield with Noah, and had a great year last year. Congrats on that. You two guys stepped up in your junior seasons and had great years. And now, what's it mean? We'll start with you, Andrew. Andrew Petter, that name is known around this area. They talked about on the radio shows about the year you had. What does Andrew Petter have to prove this year as a senior? What's your goals as one of the big leaders on this team this year? What do you look to do and to lead in this team as we get ready for this season to start?
Definitely just having fun with my boys. I got one last year, so I'm going to make the most of it and try to lead these guys as far as we can and just have a great year.
Your sophomore year, you have a quarterback named Darson Harmon in the backfield,
yes,
a well-known name at this school, a guy that started 3 years and ran this program and did a great job. Went out with a bang of a year, won that big game at Dripping Springs against an undefeated Dripping Springs Tiger team there in the first round. Then you step in last year in your junior year as a starting quarterback, and 3 games in, you have to come in and you have a backup come beside you. And now that kid's coming back as a state quarterback. and going to be at the helm as a senior. How big is that for you? You've been surrounded by some good quarterbacks. How big is that this year, bringing Noah back as a starter with all that experience from last year and as you guys move forward here?
Yeah, it's definitely a huge deal. I mean, having Noah be able to open up the pass game really opens up my run game as well. So if we can throw the ball and run the ball, then we have a great offense.
And Noah Boris, Noah, people, it's one of those seasons that we called it one of those dream seasons. You go in a situation you don't ever want to go in as having it because someone's hurt now for the year, but you step into a role and come out an all-state quarterback and had a great year. How do you build on that this year as the senior quarterback that is at the helm and that this team is going to look to as a leader?
Just continuing to work hard and to prepare like I did last year every game and just keep doing the same things I've been doing.
How big is it to have a running back on your side like Andrew Petter and then no one behind him? You've got a Cody Hall, you back right there to step in. You're having to reload at wide receiver. Two big names gone on to the next level in Drayton Dickman and Marquise Dominguez. How big is that having a cat like Andrew Petter beside you in the backfield settle you in there getting ready for that first game?
It's huge. Just like Andrew said, his run game opens with the pass game. His run game opens with the pass game. My pass game opens with the run game. It's awesome having him. He's a stud. And having Cody back there too. Cody can play anywhere on the field. Cody's going to be a big part of the offense this year. So.
How big of how was the summer for you? All the workouts, a lot of camps you went to, and throwing and everything. How'd the summer go, and how ready are you to put that helmet on and strap it on for game number one?
It went good. It was fun preparing with my receivers and Andrew and doing all the workouts, and we're ready.
Andrew, you had some downtime during the basketball season. You're back full go. How was the summer as you prep for your senior year, and how ready are you to strap on the helmet on game one when we take on a Copper Cove Bulldog team that'll come in here?
Yeah, it was a great summer. Definitely got a lot stronger. Definitely got closer to my boys. So we're gonna have a great year, and I'm excited to work this way.
How much excitement is there for Thursday of this next week when you have to go back to class? Any excitement there? No,
not too much.
Noah Boris, Andrew Petter, join us live here on Media Day, live from Birkelbach-Phil on the First Responder Broadcast Network. On the SHN Network, join us all season long. Eagle football will be right here each and every week. Noah, thanks for joining us, bud.
Y'all,
I know y'all got a team picture going up. Andrew,
yes,
enjoy it. You guys, we will talk to you, I guarantee you, definitely during the year when we will be at Mesquite Creek Outfitters for the coaches show each and every week. And you guys will make, I'm sure, multiple appearances on that as you guys continue your great careers here at Georgetown High School. Quick timeout. When we come back, we'll visit with Dave some more and other players as the Eagles get ready to go out for their pictures. And the Media Day continues live here from Birkelbach-Phil. Thanks for joining us. We'll be right back. Back here live at Birkelbach-Phil in the locker room, 2023 Georgetown Eagle Football Media Day. Kelly DeVoll finally gets back here and is able to join us. Kelly doing the green screen photos of the guys getting ready as we prepare for this season, man, a couple of weeks away. How excited are you to be back in that booth? I tell you what, we all enjoy it. I know our text group has been blowing up ready for football. How excited are you to watch this team as it develops? I just talked to Noah Boris, Andrew Petter, two of the studs, Landry Leggett.
Yep.
How excited are you to get back in the booth and watch this team?
It's so much fun because some of these kids I watched grow up playing Pop Warner in middle school football, and now they're playing varsity football. We've got some really key kids coming back this season, and you and I, my wife's got to be sick of me talking about it because I am so ready for the season to kick off. This is it's truly incredible what Friday Night Lights really means in the state of Texas, and what's going on here in Georgetown is just it's so much fun, and we're just honored to be a part of it.
We talk about these matchups and games we're going to face in the preseason non-district time. A Copper Scope Bulldog team will come in. We'll go to Vista Ridge in the Leander ISD schools and play the Rangers over there this year, and then finish out non-district with a tough Liberty Hill team. You talk about an opening season game against a Copperas Cove team. They're going to come in with their fourth coach in 5 years. Just a lot of changes there in that program. But you know the battle that's going to be looked at to begin with. Michael Valenta on the defensive line for Georgetown. Michael Uni, the offensive tackle or offensive lineman, who is a D1 commit, I believe, to Alabama, is who he is selected in his commitment. That will be a matchup to watch, this offensive defensive line. And it just grows from there when you get into playing Liberty Hill and the battle with the Panthers, which it looks to be the next district matchup when the alignments come out for next 2 seasons after this one. And so it's just going to be fun to watch, to see how these kids respond. New players and new positions to step in and fill big shoes, but yet big key components coming back for the Eagles.
Well, and last season, talking about week 1, Copperas Cove, last season, Georgetown handled Copperas Cove relatively easy. Started off kind of close, and then the Eagles were able to pull away. So Copperas Cove is going to come in here with their ears pinned back, teeth bared, ready to play football against this Eagle team and try to prove that last year was a fluke.
And it's going to be a challenge. You got a new coach.
That's why he's a lineman.
Exactly right.
Grizzly Adams on the offensive line.
You got a new coach coming in, and Tony Johnson, I believe is his name, coming out of DT White out of Dallas ISD. A successful coach has built a program there in the Dallas ISD school district. And so just an opportunity for him to make a name for himself and for Copperas Cove and to kind of straighten out a rocky program that's been on the rocks the last few years, but a lot of talent in that school district.
I wish we had a camera facing that way.
A school that has had a lot of talent and has a lot of talent in it. And it'll be fun to watch and see what this coaching staff can do with them as he comes in. And a lot of challenges faced there in Copperas Cove right now, but a lot of challenges for Coach Griffin and this coaching staff.
100%, because we've got some key components back, but we lost some key components too. So I think we've got 5 starters on offense, 5 on defense coming back. But the good thing is some of these guys that are going to be stepping in as starters this year got a lot of playing time last year. So hopefully that transitions to their starting positions this year. And we'll see real quick how it manifests itself.
Key position for you in your mind of a position that big shoes to fill this year on the offensive side of the ball for Georgetown?
Oh, man, there's – The line is pretty solid, so you're good there. It's really going to be some of the receivers that I think are going to be the key components to give. Andrew is going to – they're not going to be able to stack there's going to be a lot of man defense played. So it's going to be key for the receivers to get some separation, get into the spaces, and let Andrew or Noah – throw the ball to the spot, make sure they're in that spot. So, early in those early games, these younger receivers that weren't starting last year, they're going to have to step up. And I think on the offensive side of the ball, the receivers position is going to be key.
You talk about replacing a Drayden Dickman who's gone on to the University of Rice. What a first experience for Drayden as Rice takes on UT here in Austin on September 2nd, I believe it is, in his first collegiate game. And then a Marquise Dominguez who went on to, I believe, UMHB to play football. And so he's moved on to the next level. So a lot of opportunities for receivers to come in here this year. You think of a Davin Sedgwick, a Gavin Callaway, Espinoza to step in. Cody Hollybeck, an opportunity outside of the backfield to maybe get in that slot and become a key fixture. And so a lot of opportunities for some young players and some seasoned players to get some true opportunities with those two names of Dickman and Marquise Dominguez gone.
I'm glad you called Cody's name because last season, I don't know if you even remember or not, but one of the games that Cody was playing in, man, he came in and just was tearing it up. And I said in that game, Cody's not getting a lot of the headlines because you've got Drayden Dickman over there and you've got Andrew Petter over there and Noah Boris over there. Cody's going to be key.
And it'll be fun to see him step up. It's funny. I was talking to Noah and Andrew at the same time, and Andrew said that. He said, we have that weapon in Cody Hollybeck that's dangerous everywhere, not just in the backfield, but in that slot and that receiver and a very speedy receiver.
Yep.
A lot of speed on the outside this year.
And he runs a very precise route, so that's going to be really cool.
So let's take a quick time out. When we come back, more Eagle football talking it here at Birkelbach Field. 2023 Georgetown Eagle Media Day live on the SHN Network, brought to you by First Responder Broadcasting. Easier for you to say than me, but we'll take a break. We'll be back. More Eagle football continues after this. Back here live, Birkelbach Field, 2023 Georgetown Eagle Football Media Day. Dave England, Holden Tuma, back here live in the locker room. I tell you what, it's much better than what's out there on that field.
Yeah.
It is hot out there. But I tell you what, this just fuels the fire. Ready for high school football. I tell you what, we're walking around. We're all sitting here playing with this beautiful football code blue on it with the blue laces, the blue G logo. I tell you what, you can just feel it. You talk to these players. Andrew Petter, man, a great offseason, healthy as ever, super excited. I asked Andrew, what's the thought and what's the feeling knowing you've got an all-state quarterback who stepped in without any true experience at the varsity level and became an all-state quarterback right off the bat. Now he's running the show next to you this year. And Andrew had nothing but, man, you talk about confidence and what his passing game brings to open up my running game. And the first thing Noah said was, I got that dude's running game to open up my passing game. And he said, I think it's going to be a blast. And so it's going to be fun to watch. You talk about two of your key positions coming back of top-notch players in Andrew Petter and Noah Boris.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the big question for this offense is going to be the passing production. The top three receivers from last year have all graduated, and it's going to be a question mark of, okay, who's going to replace them? How much production can we get out of the replacements? And how well Noah Boris is going to be able to play with the new guys. And that's going to be the question mark for most of the year. But I have full confidence that we're going to see a lot of passing game even still with the new guys because they want to establish a confidence and a rhythm in themselves, in the receivers that, okay, I'm replacing Dickman, replacing Marquise Dominguez, but I can do it.
And you talk about those guys in names that you've heard and we saw on JV, a Davin Sedgwick coming up, a Gavin Calloway, Cody Hollybeck. And you'll see him in the slot as well in the backfield, spelling out Andrew Petter. And Petter threw out that name of Hollybeck. You've got an Espinoza coming in. Guys that have experience in this program, but now new experience on this varsity. What kind of pressure do they put on themselves, Dave, to step in to fill the shoes of a Dickman and a Marquise Dominguez?
Absolutely. You've got a cannon for an arm, so he's going to distribute the ball to the playmakers and keep the ball matriculating down the field, as Kelly likes to say. But, not to go off subject, but I was looking at the offensive linemen, and they are not tiny people. Georgetown, somehow, I don't know where they get them from, they always produce really large linemen every year. So I think Noah's going to be in good shape. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Georgetown always moves the ball down the field, and defense, we've got Coach Nicky, so we've got some studs on defense, so it's going to be a lot of fun. I think we're going to enjoy watching this football team this year.
You talk about week one matchup. Kelly and I chatted about it for a minute. Michael Uni, the D1 commit, I believe, of Alabama, the offensive lineman for Coppers Cove in week number one against a 3-year starter in I went blank. Michael Valenta on the defensive line for Georgetown. So you get a week one battle between two big offensive and a big offensive and a huge defensive lineman. And I guarantee you, a guy like Michael Valenta is just chomping at the bit to go after that. I think that our offensive line had a heyday last year against that. Our defensive line had a heyday last year against Coppers Cove. Coppers Cove's going to come in questionable. They have their fourth coach in their fifth season coming in, new out of W.T. White in Dallas ISD, and I believe it's Coach Johnson coming in to take over that program. So a lot of up and down in Coppers Cove, and a lot of where do we go and where does this program go? A lot of talent there, but how do you get them together? And so their challenge in week one then to come up against a team like Georgetown that likes to put the ball in the air, that likes to put the ball down the field and put points on the board. So it'll be fun to watch, even starting out week one, not wondering, hey, let's see how they respond to pressure. Let's see how it's going to be some good matchups.
And the Georgetown community really literally builds this football program. You talk about continuity with coaches. We've had consistency with our coaching staff for quite some time. We've even had veterans coming back like Coach Nicky and Coach Griffin. They had coached with us before. In Georgetown, everybody would like to be here because of so many pieces. The community, one, really good school system and a lot of support for this Georgetown football program and Eastview football program, but Georgetown ISD as a whole is a good place to be and raise your kids here in town.
You talk about Georgetown ISD as a whole. Eastview coming back in with a second-year coach. Michael Wall steps in. He did some good things last year. Some good athletes. One of those was a sophomore for Eastview that had a great season. He'll be coming back as a key starter on the offensive side of the ball as a junior. And so Coach Wall bringing in a Eastview program that's building. And you love to see what they're building under Coach Coach Wall and the confidence coming out of there. We saw it in basketball, the first time ever in the history of Eastview to beat Georgetown, and they had a great team. They went into the playoffs, had a good run there, and so good things coming out of Georgetown ISD as a whole, and it speaks to the coaching staffs that you see and Coach Dino and the programs he runs. But you talk about this coaching staff, Holden. You talk about a Coach Griffin, a Coach Beatty, a Coach Nikki that you feel like could go other places and they want to be here. What does that say about this school and this athletic program that these coaches are like, I'd rather be in Georgetown?
And I've said it for a while. I think Georgetown breeds leadership in the players, in the coaching staffs, the teachers at school. A lot of people, they love to be here because how tight the community gets due to that leadership. Especially, we see it on the football field. Last year, guys like Drayden Dickman, a leader. Marcus Dominguez, a leader on that team. Tucker Griffin, the quarterback, a leader on that team, instilled by the coaching staff.
Hubenek, he's coaching now.
This year, yeah.
Yeah, his first job there. And you talk about, that was a big one. I think we talked about it. Tucker Griffin going out for a season-ending collarbone break in Week 3 against Liberty Hill and was one of the key leaders on this football team for the rest of the season. Now at Jewel, I just talked to Coach Griffin about it and went blank as he had to move Tucker to school and that transition in their life as Tucker now goes off to play at the collegiate level. But leadership is a key point. And now you see, I talking to Landry Leggett about that. You know, Landry Leggett has the challenge of the name of the family. He's number 3 in line of the Leggett brothers. The
biggest.
And he's huge. He seems to grow every day we see him. We were out here day 1 of practice last week, and it seems like he's bigger tonight than he was on Monday morning. Yeah. But he's got that pressure of the Leggett legacy and the G and what it has meant to that family and what his brothers are going to talk that noise. How big is it for him now as a third-year player on this varsity team, now as a senior, to be one of those leaders on this defense and to carry forth that leadership, that legacy, and what the G logo means to a family like that and to a young man like that.
And Petter, too. His older brother played, and you've got several names I recognized on this roster tonight that I've seen those names before. So they've got, you see the kids behind the football stadium throwing footballs and playing tackle and stuff, during the game, and now they're out there on the field playing. So it's fun. It's family tradition.
One of the offensive linemen, Hargrove, I talked to his dad earlier. 3 Hargrove brothers have come through, 1 defensive lineman, 2 offensive linemen. Now he's one of those that steps in on this offensive line to fill a hole. You've got a Jordan Eric coming back, and N. Sanders coming back, but then you've got holes to fill, and you've got a Hargrove to step in. You've got other players that are going to have the opportunity to make their name be known and their name to be called. And you talk about these youngsters coming back and getting more playing time. A Seth Warren, who as a sophomore made the varsity, and then by the end of the year was a household name here. And now, we'll talk about the story at Week 1 with Seth Warren and the jersey change and everything, but he switches to number 9. He's going to be a key starter on the defensive side of the ball alongside Landry Leggett, and it'll be interesting to see how he responds. He's had a great summer. I've watched as he went to multiple camps and got a high praise out of Oklahoma State in their linebacker camp, and talking about one of the most heady, fast, responsive players as a junior in high school. And so it's going to be fun to watch how Seth steps up in a junior role, knowing that he's got another year to come back behind him. But then you look at the quarterback position. What happens after a Noah Boris? He comes in and has an all-state season last year in injury due to the injury to Tucker Griffin. He steps in at Game 3 and just goes nuts. Now his senior year, what do we have behind him? A couple of sophomores on this team. One sophomore will be the backup, Glendorf, I believe is his name, a lefty that's got a powerful arm, not as powerful as Boris at this point, but a nice sophomore, left-handed, heady football player. And then you got West as another backup. He's out injured right now, but we'll see where that goes. But where's the legacy of the quarterback at this school? Known Darson Herman, a 3-year starter. Tucker Griffin stepped in. He got hurt. Now Boris's name is there. What's that next legacy coming? And so you're going to have to – it's eager to watch and see what's going to happen. The opportunities that these kids get, given injuries, given the heat, when players are going to have to take a break. How big is that going to play this year, Holden? Right now, heat it's huge right now, just standing outside doing media.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, the Texas heat is unlike any state I've ever been in my life. It's different here. Everything Texas football is different. High school specifically, Texas high school football is the best football in the country. And it's really not even a debate. And speaking of Georgetown high school football, it gets instilled in the youth. Yeah. They see their older siblings playing, and it means a lot to them. Yes, bleed blue. I mean, they bleed blue from middle school, from elementary school. They come to the high school football games, and they want to be out on the field. That was me. That was my experience. I wanted to be out on the field. So it means a lot. Georgetown, it's a storied program. I mean, there's a lot of history here, a lot of rich history, and the players and the coaching staffs, and it's going to be a lot of fun to watch this year.
And now he starts his legacy in the booth. Holden Tuma graduated last year from Georgetown High School, a senior, now on to Southwestern University, a Pirate, but a Georgetown Eagle at heart. Defend the G, the logo, the kind of the phrase this year, and EFND in that defend the G. Coach Griffin, as I see it on the board back behind the camera there, when the first Booster Club meeting that we went to this summer, he spelled it out in there, and the EFND is capital letters, and it's a pride deal at this school that G is not just a G, it's a target, and people want to beat this G. They want to beat this program. They want to beat this school because it is such a good program. Congratulations to the school, finishing in the top 10 this year in the Central Texas area, in the competitions with all the sports added together. The highest Central Texas school ranking, number 7 out of the 5A schools, and so you just see programs from all. The men's swimming and diving team, state champions this year. The girls soccer team, their first defeat with all schools. Yeah, that's true. They were only one in Central Texas ranked that high out of all schools. The highest in 5A out of anybody close around us, especially. It was beautiful to see.
Yeah, everybody's having success.
But the girls soccer team, their only loss came in the state semifinals. So the programs here, Coach Farney still doing a great job. Coach Richardson, I tell you what, guys, I got to call volleyball Tuesday night at Leander. We'll be back on the air Tuesday night at home against Round Rock. A young volleyball team with a lot of talent. And Coach Richardson in her 16th season, another coach that wants to be here. Opportunities outside, could go to the next level, more opportunities. Loving to be and wear that G and what these kids and what this school represent. I think you've got to talk about the administration as well.
Absolutely.
You've got a principal in Brian Johnson that spearheads a great administration here at Georgetown High School. A new superintendent named Dr. Pattaville. He is on board. He was at the convocation, had some electrical issues. He's given some of his talk from cell phone flashlight. Coach Richardson told me, said it was quite interesting as they had some electrical issues and lights went out. But a lot of changes, but a lot of people want to be here as Dr. Fred Brent moved on and resigned and retired from education. And so an opportunity for another person to step up and make a name here in a great program.
Johnson, Dean, Griffin, we're blessed with great leadership up here at the high school and allow us to have access to do things like this and bring this coverage to y'all. So
I think what we'll do is we'll understand on this deal. We're throwing this. Coach Griffin invited us to come in and set up and have what we wanted to do with this stuff. And so as we've had some of the players as they come and go with photos and stuff going on, our breaks may seem extended. We're still here for a little bit because we're going to try to get Coach Nicky in here, Coach Beatty possibly, and Coach Griffin. And then we're going to try to talk to Greg Petter, the Booster Club president, and just get a State of the Union address of the Booster Club as they head into the biggest fundraiser of the year. Meet the Eagles next Saturday, the 19th. Tickets can be bought online at georgetownfootball.com, the Booster Club website. So come out and support that. It is awesome. The kids will be in early. They'll eat, and then the players will serve as people have a barbecue dinner. A lot of the dads, I tell you what, they're going to be out Friday night, and we're in Georgetown, one of the properties, smoking several, like 30 briskets and sausage and chicken, getting it ready. And so a nice home-cooked barbecue meal to be served, and opportunities, some silent auctions, some live auctions, and a chance to meet this varsity football team as they get ready to put on a showcase and to go on a run. They do have a chip on their shoulder. Noah Morris, Landry Leggett talked about that. There is a chip on their shoulder, and they want to go further. The third round was not enough last year, and they see, what was it, Dave? December 15th at 7 p.m. is the goal. And if any team in 5A Division I football, if that isn't your goal, why are you out here?
Right.
That's the championship game at Jerry World there in Dallas, Arlington at Cowboy Stadium. And that should be the goal. We want to be there watching it, calling it, whatever we can do to be a part of it. And it would be nothing better than to see that Georgetown Blue swamp that stadium. So we'll take a break. It could be extended. Bear with us. You'll know when we cut it. We'll come back and tell you when we're going to be done. But we'll wait and try to get a couple of these coaches in here before we call it. And before you know it, then we're going to have decals with dads. It's on the Wednesday right before the first game of the season on the 25th. That's when we get to be in the locker room and smell the smells. And it's wonderful. You should just come come join us. It's amazing. But the dads get to go in, and it's an awesome time to watch these dads get to decal their son's helmet and to write them a note to leave in their lockers before game number one. And it's such a neat experience. We'll talk to a couple of dads in that. Mark Boris is going to be one of those. I kind of prepped him, and I'll talk to him again. Noah Boris's dad. We'll talk to Mark, who is just a great family and have raised a great young man, and Noah Boris, and what a leader he is for this program. And so we'll talk to dads and some coaches as they step in roles and get to talk to them and experience this as we get ready for that Friday night and that first crack of the pads and the hitting of the ball, the kick of the ball, and the hit of the helmets. And Friday Night Football, boys, is just around the corner.
Can't wait.
We'll take a quick break. We come back. Hopefully, we'll have one of the coaches or so lined up with us. We'll get a quick interview, and then we'll get out of your hair, and we will move on with the weekend as we get ready. I tell you what, a lot of work behind the scenes coming. Is First Responder Broadcasting. It's the new company that we have formed. Kelly DeVoll, who refuses to come over here and talk to us right now. Dave England, myself, Holden, Tuma. That is our new company, First Responder Broadcasting. We will bring you all sports Georgetown Eagle this year on the SHN Network. So we go nowhere. We are part of the SHN Network and that family. We will stay on the SHN YouTube channel. Thank you to Rob Hipp and to Carl Schoening, the owners of SHN, the namesakes of it. They have given us the blessing to this is our baby, and we run with this, and we take pride in this Georgetown family. I tell you what, the friends that I've made just joining this, and none of my kids ever went to school here, and I love this community. I've loved the friendships that I've made with Kelly, Dave, and I'm even starting to like Holden a little bit as well.
I'm getting there.
But Holden's family has welcomed us in and has become a part of this, and Austin Graham is going to be one of our sponsors this year, and just the community sport, it's second to none around here.
Speaking of sponsors, who do they need to contact if you'd like to steal some sponsorship spots?
Kelly, what's the email that you want to? Kelly's going to jump in here real quick because we want to. There's a couple of sponsorships we have left open, regular spots that we could just get you out there.
Yep.
It's a nominal fee, but we get you advertisements. We'll have a voiceover, a little commercial every game. You can choose just the silver sponsorship. It's one commercial spot a game. Usually it ends up being more than one, just because we love to get names out there and support the community that supports us. But then there's the gold level package of two commercials a game.
So we've got the blue, which is one 30-second spot per game, minimum. And then the silver is two 30-second spots per game, minimum. It's usually more than that. We've also got the pregame show is available for sponsorship, and you can do that on a game-by-game basis. You don't have to commit to the whole season for the pregame show. If you're interested in any sponsorships, email me at KELLY, the letter D, SHN, at gmail.com. KellyDSHN@gmail.com, and I'll send you all the information.
Well, we would love to be able to highlight your companies. Kelly, you had the stats on it, even though our statistician doesn't pay attention to this kind of stats. I tell you what, and I'll give credit where credit's due. Last year, Holden came in on an internship with us and joined us. We got a message from his family, I guess about a month out, and just said, hey, our son's interested in being involved. He likes to be around football. Man, Holden came in and killed it. And the fact that he can tolerate us made it even more impressive. But his stats, each and every week, you're talking minuscule differences from what the coaches went after watching a film. You're talking the stats that we were able to have mid-game, mid-drive, constant, and it's just going to get better this year as Holden joins us full-time in the booth. He'll have his headset. This is not his headset tonight. He didn't bring it. He's prepared.
Wait, why would you come to a broadcast?
It's one of those deals.
Yep.
Hey, he showed up. We're good.
And
but
it was cool because he came in, fell right into our family that we had formed with and I only wanted to throw him out of the press box once.
I think only once.
Yeah.
Just the one time.
Yeah, from the top.
But
not like
but you're
not like say, hey, you got to go. I mean, like grab him, throw him.
But the stats that Holden produced and the stats that he continues to produce will become a highlighted feature each and every pregame. Holden will be part of that pregame as we discuss the stats from the week prior. Kind of a sneak peek as we talk about Game 1 coming up against Copper's Cove. We're going to look at things that Holden's going to prepare of. the percentage of lost offense on
Right.
people that have left and what we bring back, the percentage of offense that returns under Noah Boris and Andrew Petter and stuff like that. So join us week 1. It's going to be full board with Holden, but then each halftime, it's already sponsored position. You can't sponsor this one. It's already been taken, but it's going to be first half stats with Holden on each halftime show after the band and the Georgettes have been highlighted. One of us will be visiting with Holden, if not all of us, talking first half football, and Holden will be on, bring the stats, and so it's going to be a regular deal, and it's just trying to make it that much better for you guys to enjoy what these kids are putting out and our product to highlight these student athletes.
And I do want to go back to where that whole conversation started with Holden stats, the stats about for the advertisers.
Yes, you advertisers.
Yes.
And this is what I want you to
Yeah.
hear. And
If you have a business in Georgetown, we have 2,000 to 4,000
views.
unique views per game, and 80% of those are Georgetown folks. So that gives you an idea of the numbers that you get to see throughout the course of the season. You're getting your business in front of 20 to 40,000 people. So
I tell you what, we bring back a lot of the big sponsors. Borrow from Morrow, you're going to hear his name again. He runs the First Down, Borrow from Morrow First Down. We appreciate our sponsors. They're all great. They do us so well. Fine Line Construction, Nathaniel
Smoothie King.
Funk, Smoothie King.
Nathaniel Funk, Edward Jones,
I tell you
Syntex
what.
Shirt and Embroidery.
And so
List goes on. JMTs.
JMTs will bring you the broadcast booth again, and our JCT Memorial broadcast booth. But we need more. And what we do with it, understand, and I want to be totally upfront with you, we don't get a paycheck. We do this as a hobby and having fun for experience and to enjoy football and being together and broadcasting and highlighting student athletes. Your sponsorship dollars just cover expenses and equipment. We have been able to purchase this stuff because of sponsors like you guys. So anybody out there that can sponsor us, KellyDSHN@gmail.com. We will make room for you. We're doing voiceover commercials tonight, filming those and recording them, and getting ready for the football season. Kelly does a fantabulous job of putting together these commercials that we play during the games. And so reach out to us. We would love to have you and highlight you as a sponsor. The more the merrier. It just makes it better so we can do more. We're looking to upgrade our cameras to get even better equipment and continue to do great things to highlight volleyball Tuesday night. We'll be back on the air there. So let's take a quick break. We're going to try to nab one of these two coaches, one or two or three of these coaches, and do some quick interviews, and then we will wrap it up for the night.
Emails in the chat.
So join the chat. You can look there, KellyDSHN@gmail.com. Quick break. When we come back, hopefully we'll have the coaches with you. You're listening to Georgetown Eagle Football Media Day, brought to you by First Responder Broadcasting on the SHN Network. Stay tuned. Back here live, Burkle Bog Field, 2023 Georgetown Eagle Football Media Day, and an experience, the first for us to be live here during it, get the equipment tested, talk to these players, and now what an opportunity here is we're joined by the two coordinators, offensive coordinator Coach Beatty, defensive coordinator Coach Nicky. Man, I wish Kelly would have stayed. Kelly had to get and get to prepping some at his house for later on. We're having a session after this to go meet and record for our sponsors and everything, but we'll play a clip for you at some point. Kelly made a statement last year against Eastview, and a long sustained drive, and he said, Coach Nicky's probably so mad over there, and he's punching teddy bears and kicking puppies, and so he's trying to get the shirt made, and it's so funny because it's a sound clip that we send back and forth to each other about, and he goes, it's funny, after that there was no sustained drive by Eastview the rest of the game, and so he made his point kicking puppies and punching teddy bears, and so Coach Nicky, Coach Beatty, thanks for joining us. This opportunity to be in here, and 2 weeks we'll be back in, I guess a week and a half actually. We'll be back in the locker room and have decals with dads. But 1 week of practice down, Coach Beatty, on the offensive side, man, you bring back two names that everyone knows in this area. Noah Boris made a name for himself last year. He comes in week 3 after a tough injury to Tucker Griffin and puts up, all you could say is just state numbers. And he's recognized as an all-state quarterback. And then Andrew Petter, the name speaks for itself. Bringing those two key components back, how does that help knowing you lose two names like Drayden Dickman and Marquise Dominguez?
Man, it helps a lot, especially at the quarterback position when you can return a guy that you feel really comfortable running anything under the sun there, and giving the ball to Petter, who could do, a multiple facet of things. He can catch the ball in the backfield, he can run in between tackles, and so that it gives you a lot of confidence in being able to spread it out all kinds of different ways, and building pieces around them has gone pretty good so far. So we got some growth to do, but feel pretty confident with them. It
seems like a lot of opportunity this season for some wide receivers to get their name known. You lose a Drayden Dickman to Rice University. You lose a Marquise Dominguez, I believe, to UMHB?
Harden Simmons.
I knew it was one. Some of these players in Lewis has gone up to UMHB. You hear all these kids going, which is fun to watch as they go to the next level. But it's an opportunity for a kid like an Espinoza, like a Sedgwick, like a Callaway, maybe even a Cody Hollybeck, a Weisheimer, to step in and all of a sudden become household names here in a Georgetown offense that loves to put the ball in the air but yet loves to put points on the board. What's the opportunity there, knowing that these players have something to prove?
Right, yeah. So across the board, they got to prove themselves, depending on who we're going to rely on to catch a ball. But they've done pretty good throughout the spring and fall camp to – they at least know what they're doing and get after it, and they're all play hard guys. I'm never going to question their effort. So as a whole, collectively, I think they're going to kind of replace those guys pretty well just because of what they can do all together. We did lose a lot of speed from Dickman and a lot of athleticism from Dominguez, but collectively with Sedgwick and Hollybeck and Espinoza and maybe even a little bit Xavier Warren, Callaway, we got some speed coming back in certain spots, and I think they'll be able to fill a role pretty good.
How does Georgetown keep filling up those wide receiver spots with such speed? It seems crazy. Drayden Dickman continued to seem like get faster every year. You put him out there, and then he goes to the track and performs like that, and you've got other players filling in right behind him at such speed. Where does this come from, and how big is that to your passing game and your offense, knowing you got a quarterback, Noah, that can air it out and go and attack these defenses?
Man, it's big time. We do spend a lot of time in the offseason program trying to develop some speed in the summer, and our track program has been really, really good. Our football kids that participate in track has really paid off for us, and at the end of the day, it's something that we'll be able to hang our hat on.
Coach Nicky, Michael Valenta, a name that rings a bell to a lot of people around here. A Landry Leggett, a Seth Warren, Leo Diaz, O.C. Presley, names that have been around this program the last couple of years. Michael Valenta slated to be a 3-year starter for this Georgetown team, which is almost unheard of. You have so many seniors that come through and so many big names. How big is that to have some of that experience coming back on the defensive side of the ball? It seems like we have a solid starter at each level to kind of lead those positions.
Yep, that's exactly right. We have somebody that can fill in that has played, 13 games last year. They're guys that have been there, done that, and it's been awesome to see. Like, man, we hit the ground day one with our entire defense installed because these guys know, those guys are holding each other accountable. Just like you said, at every level we got, Valenta and a Leggett and a Lloyd and an Osi and a Diaz. Man, all these guys are back. They've all been there, done that. They understand what it's going to take, and they're getting us ready, and they have us ready from a mental aspect. We're just so far ahead of where we were last year at this time, with a new defense and all that stuff. But they're doing a great job, and it's guys like that are going to allow us to do a lot of different things defensively this year.
We look at the D-line. We lose Daniel Obina. We lose a Brandon Hawkins. We lose I lost the name of the other end.
Duncan.
Yep. Tyler Duncan. We lose 3 big names, starters off the defensive line. What does it look like there as Michael Valenta becomes that anchor to surround him on the defensive line this year?
Yeah, kind of done some movement a little bit. Urban played a little bit on the edge last year. We're going to move him inside. He's a big, strong kid. Man, he's been really, really good. And really it's going to be a little bit right now defensive end by committee. But, man, those kids are just so technical and so coachable, and they do all the things that we ask them to do. Turbeville and a Rager and all those guys. We got Decker out there. We got Rojas just doing what we coach them to do. And they're going to turn into, as the season progresses, they're going to be big-time playmakers. I don't know if we'll get that from them week one, but we got guys that can do that. But they're going to progress, man. They've already progressed so much just from spring ball to fall camp and all that stuff. Like, we've seen them grow so much. The ceiling is unbelievably high for that defensive line. I'm really pleased with Coach Kinch and how hard those kids are working.
How does your defense and your offense push each other when these kids are cracking at each other day in and day out, but yet the battle against each other, but yet the brotherhood that's built through those battles? How does this defense push this offense to be that next notch, and how does this offense challenge this defense to respond to that? As you guys coach together and try to form this team, they had to beat up each other for a few weeks, and now when Copper's Cove comes calling, how does that work to feed the fuel for both of you guys?
Yeah, we've actually gotten our, because we do have some returners and they have a little bit of swag about themselves, and I think they do a good job. Like, we're out there and we're really and truly, like, we're chirping the offense quite a bit, probably a little too much for his liking, to be honest with you. But and it's just funny, like, we're not doing it in a malicious way. Like, we're doing it because we think we're pretty good, and we know for a fact that those guys are good. And the schemes and the stuff that they come up with, it puts us in fits. But it's guys that we're working against that are going to make us better. It's Seth Worden versus Petter. It's all those the offensive linemen that you can go down the list. Against Valenta and those guys, like, they chirp back and forth. The offense will bust a big play. Score 2 or 3 touchdowns a day in our little scrimmage, and then we come back and stone them on the next play, and iron sharpens iron, all that kind of stuff. But I think we do a great job of that, and the best part is that, like, I think from my standpoint is we can chirp each other, and then we're walking off saying good job and all that stuff, and talking offensively and defensively. It's a really good setup.
From the offensive side, how does that work for you?
Yeah, it's the same situation. We hear a lot of the chirping, and for the most part, man, I talked to our guys the other day about it, is because they kind of got after us in one day in our fall kit right as we started blocking each other, put the full pads on. And I had to tell them, I was like, guys, you got to realize, like, this is one of the better defenses that we'll have in the district. Some of the guys we're having to block and some of the guys we're having to run routes against, like, we're not going to see many defenses this year that will be as good as ours. So they're making us better, and I even tell them, I was like, hey, don't be frustrated when we're not successful every single play, because you're going to be cheering that on every Friday night whenever they're stopping people. So, I mean, it makes us tons better, and we'll be better against Cove because of what we're doing now.
Put you on the spot. You have to pick one player that makes this offense, that leads this offense. That doesn't make it or break it. That's going to be the leader that sets the tone for this offense for this year. Who is that?
I'll think really hard and say Petter. He is like he's something else, man. We could teach a new play and just maybe demonstrate it once, and he's just, okay, I got it. He makes everything. He makes me look really good, because a bad play call can turn into a 60-yard gain, and we think we all schemed it up, but we didn't block 3 people, and all of a sudden he just made a miss and went down the sideline or whatever. But yeah, I would say it all starts with Petter and what he can do.
The talent of that young man to run over people, or stiff arm and make people miss, or outrun them. It just is a phenomenal watch with the size of a guy, and it almost is confusing to me to listen to talk shows around the area and sports talk, and it's like they will not talk about Andrew Petter. And why?
It's crazy, isn't it?
That's all we talk about. You talk about a Noah Boris Arm, and you talk about a Drayton Dickman and a Marquise Dominguez, and then you mention Petter, and people on it, they've talked about him on certain talk shows around town, like, hey, watch this Andrew Petter. And it's like, we've been saying that since his sophomore year, and so it speaks volumes about the place where he is as a senior, knowing he's been doing this now for 3 years on this team and been an integral part. Coach Nicky, same concept for you. What's that one player that's going to be that centerpiece of this defense that's going to maybe be called on to lead it on the field, off the field, but to be that key cog that kind of locks in this defense?
Yeah, it's hard to not say Michael Valenta. I'm a defensive line guy at heart, and it's just great to have that guy that, literally all the other guys are watching play in front of him. He's making plays. The secondary's happy. The linebacker's job gets a lot easier when he can do what he does. And he's really grown in the vocal portion of what he does for our team. And he's leading by example, and he's stepping up and being the vocal leader of what we got going on. He's going to be the voice of our defense. Our defense is going to go through Michael Valenta, and we're going to go far because of that.
Challenge in week 1, Michael Valenta, Michael Uni from Copper's Cove. Is that a matchup we look to see and watch? Is it going to be the battle, or are they going to match up even? I don't know where Uni plays on the offensive line, but what kind of battle does he present and challenges does he present for your defense in week 1?
Oh, yeah, no doubt. I think it's great for guys like that. Michael has a desire to go play at the next level, so it's great to be able to put him in positions against guys that are going to be there, and really showcase his talents. Because the same thing, with a lot of the guys, and obviously, we're coaching them, we see him day in, day out, but there's some of our guys that we feel are being slighted in the recruiting realm and all that stuff, and so any chance we get to put Michael Valenta against their best, we're going to do it, to showcase that Michael Valenta is better than all those guys. And, I truly believe that. And I think he'll showcase that on Friday night against Cove. I don't have any doubts about that. But it's not just, about him and that one player. It'll be a big game for him. But we'll be fine across the board. We won't do anything different or anything like that. So Michael do his, and he'll get his, and we'll be just fine.
What does this offense look for week 1 against Copper's Cove? I know we're a couple weeks out. We got a scrimmage this week against Rudder, and an opportunity to see different players on the other side of the ball and let this team look week 1 against a Cove team that's got some talented players, but has been in a kind of a whirlwind of trying to make things work. Another coach within the 5th year, a 4th head coach at Cove, trying to find something that sticks. A coach out of WT White in Dallas ISD. What's the offensive matchup you look for or are going to try to expose or work on in week 1?
Really, I'll just be, excited to see some execution. I just want to see the guys go out there and play within themselves and execute at a high level. It'll be our first actual game plan that they're going to be put together Monday through Wednesday and try to get it right by the time we play on Friday. And once we step out there, I want to see everybody kind of focused and executing. Try not to do anything too much. Try not to go out there and do anything extraordinary. Just go out there, run the play, and everything else will kind of take care of itself.
One more question for both of you, and it has to do nothing with your players. It has to do with you gentlemen and this school. Why do you guys want to stay and be a part of Georgetown High School? I had no kids go to school here, and I love this school. I have made friendships with my broadcast partners. I've made friendships within this coaching staff, within this Coach Canfield, and calling for him. Coach Vieira has become a very good friend and coach for him. People want to be here. Why does Coach Nicky want to be here? You came back here. Why do you want to be at Georgetown High School? What makes this school where you want to be?
It's the best school in the state. I don't – it's hard to find a place that you got guys like, Coach Beatty and Coach Flo that have been here for almost a decade. There's multiple guys on our staff that have come back. And we do it because – it boils down to the kids we have. Our kids are fantastic. We love coming to work every day. They're going to do what we coach them to do, and they're going to work their tail off to do what we want. And, we're going to win football games because of it. It's just something that you can't beat coming to work at Georgetown High School because the kids you get to come in contact with. And so what that allows us to do as a coaching staff is to keep the best coaches, right? So, I get to hang out with Coach Beatty all day. It's not work for us. We hang out, we have a good time, and it's the best place to work in the whole state.
Coach Nicky, same question.
Yeah, same thing. It's all about the kids. I think we fight a lot less battles than most coaches do on a daily basis. The kids we have just do exactly what we ask of them for the most part, and we don't have to prod for effort for the most part, and and coming in day out, it's just it's just an environment that you love being around because the kids love to work hard. They love to do things that other kids kind of scoff at and don't really jump at the certain opportunities. And so we're here. Certain guys that have been here for a long time, certain guys that have come back for all those reasons. It all circles around the kids and kind of the environment. And when we preach so much about developing those athletes as human beings as much as anything, and I think all that kind of ends up paying off to where it creates an environment that you want to be around.
Offensive coordinator Coach Beatty, defensive coordinator Coach Nicky join us here live tonight. The 2023 Georgetown Eagle Football Media Day. It's been one to enjoy, and I tell you what, coaches, thank you for joining me. First off, we can't wait for the 25th. We can't wait to see these Bulldogs of Copperas Cove come in. We're gracious that it is a home game, and we get to be in our friendly confines of Birkelbach Field and in our nice air-conditioned booth. I'm not going to lie, but we look forward to it. And you guys are the epitome of the coaches that we just love to be around, and we appreciate you guys taking time for us. We're just lowly guys having a fun time trying to highlight these kids and student athletes, and so thanks for taking the time tonight. I know you got stuff to do. I'm going to let y'all go because I got a stud to talk to here in Michael Valenta. So I'm going to take a quick time out. When I come back, it's Dave England and I talking to Michael Valenta before we wrap it up here from the Media Day on First Responder Broadcasting on the SHN Network. Back here live, Birkelbach Field in the locker room here outside of the beautiful field that we'll be at in a couple of weeks on Friday night against the Copperas Cove Bulldogs. Dave England joins me along with Michael Valenta, the senior defensive lineman. I'm assuming you're one of the captains on this team.
Yes, sir.
Third year starting. Welcome in tonight. Thanks for joining us real quick before we get you out of here. I know you guys have been out here for a while, and your Saturday evening is spoken for by Coach Griffin for a while, and so we'll get you in and out. You come in your senior year. It's a third year for you to be a starter in this program. It's not a common occurrence in this program because of the talent, the seniors that are here. Now you come in as one of these senior leaders. You're going to be looked to be an anchor of this defense. What's that look like for you? How exciting is that for your senior year?
I mean, it's great just because we have, such an awesome defense. I think this year all of us are so close, and, with having, such a great coaching staff, Coach Nicky just makes us buy into the defense so easily. And Griff and all the coaches, I mean, it's just fun to go out there and play.
You got guys behind you, Landry Leggett, Seth Warren, with experience at the linebacking core. Go into the defensive backfield with OC, and you got Leo Diaz back there. You guys are going to be this core of the defense and replacing some names around you on the offensive line. You're the only one left standing from last year's O-line after Tyler Duncan, Brandon Hawkins, and Daniel Obina all move on and graduate. What's that look like for you? Is it a challenge for you to be that leader and to get these guys ready to go to war each down, or how is that coming around for you guys?
I mean, it's always different, but, every year we've had a different team. And I think coaching-wise and just how we prepare, I think it makes by the time the season starts, we're ready.
So you've got a good Copperas Cove offensive line coming up. Are you looking forward to the challenges that you'll see?
I mean, every week to me is the same. It's just another O-line. I'm not worried about who is on the O-line, who's there.
Yeah.
Just another team to play, another team to beat.
As you go to your senior year, what's going through Michael Valenta's head? How much fun has this been as you get ready for the senior year to kick off in the next week and a half? And what is Michael Valenta looking for in his senior year? What are you looking to do? Lead this team? What's going through that head as you become that big leader?
No, I'm just hoping to help as much as I can so the Georgetown Eagles can win a couple football games, hopefully.
Any shout-outs before I let you go?
Shout out Brenna coming in here, and shout out Coach Griff because he's sitting right there.
Michael Valenta, number 99. I do appreciate you keeping the same number this year. Seth Warren changes up on me. Leo Diaz for the third year in a row changes up on me. So when you guys stay in the same number, it makes it so much easier from the booth to see it. But
Yes, sir.
thanks for joining us tonight, Michael. Man, we're excited to see you play Friday night, the 25th. Can't come soon enough to watch you bring it for the Georgetown Eagles. So thanks for joining us. And I'll let you get out of here.
Yeah, thank y'all, and thank y'all for doing this all the time.
Absolutely.
It means a lot, man.
Wouldn't be anywhere else on Friday nights but in Georgetown, Texas, and on the road bringing you Georgetown Eagle football. Quick timeout. We may still Coach Griffin in here and wrap this up. You're listening to Media Days live on the First Responder Broadcasting Network. Back here live, Birkelbach Field. We're in the locker room just off the field on the north end zone. 2023 Georgetown Eagle Football Media Days brought to you by First Responder Broadcasting on the SHN Network. And, man, the legend's here. It is head coach Chuck Griffin. He comes and joins us. What a crazy day for you coaches, but what an opportunity for these parents to be involved in this media day to highlight these kids and get ready. And it's coming quick. A scrimmage coming up this week. Coach, how ready is this team as you guys have been through now the first full week of practice?
You know, we're getting better every day, and that's the big key. So, man, I'm happy where they're at and what they're doing. And get ready. We got a scrimmage Thursday night versus Rudder here at home, and that's going to be good. So looking forward to that. And man, I'm just proud of the team, what they're doing.
You come back with a couple of big leaders on the offensive side of the ball, names that are well known around here, Noah Boris, Andrew Petter. I think you can't compare many around here to that young man and what he brings. And then you go on the defensive side of the ball and you bring some names like Michael Valenta that was sitting here, Landry Leggett that was sitting here earlier, some names that you're going to anchor these offensive and defensive teams around. How big is that for this coaching staff as you guys have key people in those key places, knowing you have to replace players like a Drayden Dickman and a Marquise Dominguez and your Tyler Hawkins and Daniel Obina and things like that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's you know, that's part of high school football. It's part of coaching. You've always got turnover. You always got people replacing. You got to figure out how to do that. And it always helps to have some key guys, you know, and having a couple offensive linemen back, having a couple skill guys back on offense, and a couple of guys defensively back. It makes a big deal. So I'm glad we got those guys kind of built around.
Who is somebody that has surprised you this last week that kind of got on y'all's radar?
You know, I think Mason Goggins was kind of a role guy for us last year, a little bit defensively, and a big special teams guy for us. And he's had a tremendous offseason, tremendous summer, and has really had a really good fall camp so far as well, too. So I expect big things out of Mason this year.
Replacing a couple of guys at wide receiver and a Drayden Dickman and Marquise Dominguez. What's the challenge there offensively with some unknown names to people to opportunities to step up?
Yeah, well, I mean, you think about it, Drayden was young too, and Marquise was young at one time too. So, you know, we've just in that situation again. We got Davin Sedgwick on the outside, and you know, he played a little bit in the College Station game last year at the end of the game after Marquise got hurt, and you know, he's going to be big for us. And then we've got Ivan Espinoza, a wide receiver for us. It's a senior. This man had a really good offseason, doing a great job working with Noah and just getting better and better. And then we got a sophomore who's going to kind of work in there some too, just another speedster, Xavier Warren, who we expect big things out of too. And he's kind of in the Drayden Dickman mold of size and speed, and you know, we're kind of working him in that same spot just like we did Drayden.
Step away from football. Let's step into the dad role.
Yeah.
Tucker goes off to college and gets ready for his first year of college football. Yeah. What was that for the Griffin household as you saw Tucker?
I mean, it's awesome. It's exciting. It's tough as a parent. You know, that's your youngest and the last one, and he went off about 4 days after graduation and has been gone all summer, and so that's tough. But I mean, we talk every day, and he's got to come home a couple times here, and we're going to try to get up there some this fall. Or Mom is anyway, and see him some this fall. So excited about what he's doing, and you know, chasing a dream and just working hard and getting better and trying to figure out. I mean, now he's low man on the totem pole, you know, so trying to figure out that whole process and what that's like. And college football is a different world than high school football too. So
this heat's got to been troublesome for you? It's probably one of the worst summers we've had in your coaching
You
memory.
know,
How's it challenge you?
I yes and no. I mean, we live in Texas, and it gets 100 degrees every summer, and I mean, it's just part of it. I don't know that it's any hotter feeling, than what we had. I mean, we have a motto. We say it's near perfect. It doesn't matter if it's 18 degrees or 118, like it's near perfect. And that's the mindset that our kids have taken and have shown really hard. There's some new stipulations our district has put in on the new measurement system of the wet bulb, and that we got to pay attention to and take care of our kids. But our athletic trainer, Chad Hennessy, and his group do a tremendous job of we've got a cold station practice. We get open water breaks anyway throughout practice. We've got cold towels if they need them. And the other thing is we go early in the morning, So, I mean, our varsity kids are even kind of in a second workout. They're off the field before 10 o'clock. So, it's tough on our freshmen. And there'll be some challenges we've got facing them when we start school. When they, this week we'll have a scrimmage on the first day, but the following week when they start after school at 3 o'clock, we'll have some challenges we got to meet with those new stipulations of taking the correct amount of breaks and how they can dress out, and might even have to move them to the morning in a few days, to make sure that they're able to run and tackle and those kind of things.
How ready is this coaching staff to get this team on the field?
Yeah, I mean, we're ready. I cannot speak highly enough about my coaching staff. It's the best staff I've worked with in 24 years, and man, they do a great job, and they make my job a lot easier because they work hard. They know the systems, they know the structures, they know the processes that are in place, and those guys just go out and take care of their business. And they're grown men, and they do a great job with it. And so that's exciting to have, and those guys do a great job. So we're really excited to get out there and get on the field.
We asked Coach Nicky and Coach Beatty, what makes you guys, what makes this staff, what makes coaches across the board at Georgetown High School want to be here?
I think it's an incredible community. We've got huge community support. We've got great administrative support. Our administrators, whether that be Brian Johnson, our principal, Jason Dean, our athletic director, or, it was Fred Britt, and now it's Devin Patteville, and he, his first meeting was with coaches, and those guys realize the value that athletics bring to education, and that a good athletic program can change the entire environment of your school and make it more productive. And so they understand that, and man, we're blessed to be here from that standpoint. And we started a few things. We started some stuff a couple years ago. A friend of mine challenged me on in developing our staff, and so we do some stuff in the spring that's professional, not professional development. It's just personal development. And they do a great job. They watch more film than I've ever thought about, getting ready for practice and learning new schemes and things. But our guys put in some work just becoming a better person, and making us a better staff and more cohesive in the way that we work together and talk. And so it's pretty cool to see a staff that buys into that. Like, that's a 6 a.m. meeting during the spring, and they don't miss. They're not late. Like, they're here because it's good stuff, and they're learning and growing and getting better.
Thursday night, Brian Rudder comes here. What time is the scrimmage start?
Young kids are at 5:30, and then we just kind of stack it from there. So the varsity start around 7. We'll go. Actually, it's 5. It's 5, 6, and 7 is kind of the time frame, but we just stack it and go.
So come out and join us. Go ahead, Dave.
No, I just want to say thank you for allowing us to showcase these kids, come out here, spotlight this program, and promote.
Well, I appreciate you guys and what y'all do, and that's part of what makes this community special. We get guys like y'all that want to be involved and highlight and show it. I noticed you said the First Responder Network, like we had our First Responder Day today, and so we had a lot of Georgetown police officers out here at practice walking through with the kids, going through. They conditioned with the kids. They got in a little quarterback competition with them. Then we sit around and ate lunch, and, man, that's what makes this community special. So appreciate you guys being willing to do this too.
So when you heard that name out, we, Dave, Kelly, and I have started our own LLC company now. We will be under First Responder Broadcasting on the SHN Network, and we're going to bring you all things Georgetown Eagle. We started with some volleyball this year. Coach Richardson, I reached out to her Tuesday nights only because I told her Friday nights are spoken for. We have a priority here, and it's football first. Then we go to basketball and baseball. But we're even highlighting varsity girls volleyball on Tuesday nights. Join us this Tuesday night at home against Round Rock. But First Responder Broadcasting is the new name for Dave, Kelly, and I. We brought on Holden as our statistician, and we'll be on the SHN network and continue to do all things Georgetown because it's just what we love. We're goobers that love football and sports in high school and love to highlight you guys and the access that you've given us. So we do appreciate it. And so we just tell you guys, if you can't be at the stadium, always on the SHN network on the YouTube channel. We'll bring it to you live and free. That's the one thing we cherish is we're able to because of our sponsors bring you free Georgetown sports to support these kids and highlight these kids and these coaches and what they're doing for these kids as they develop these young men. Thursday night here live on Georgetown's campus, Brian Riddle will come in for a scrimmage, and then, man, just a week away from Friday, it'll be live Friday night football here at Birkelbach Field. 7:30, I believe, is the kick. 7 o'clock is the kick against Copperas Cove. We'll be live at 6 p.m. with our first back to football special. We'll bring in Holden Tuma and our new statistician and bring in some new aspects to it to better the broadcast, to better highlight this athletic program.
Fun fact trivia, Holden had so much fun with us last year, it infected his decision on where to go to college. He decided to stay at Southwestern and come hang out with us. So
awesome.
We're pretty excited about
That's great.
We continue to build it, to make it better, to make it free, because we have nothing better to do but enjoy sports.
It's a good hobby.
We couldn't make it to the pros, but we can broadcast for free, so we enjoy it. So come join us live here on SHN. I tell you what, the 23rd is Decals with Dads in the locker room. We'll bring it live there. I know we're going to visit with a couple of dads. I've talked to one of the junior dads and one of the senior dads, and we'll talk to them about what that means to be a part of that, and a couple of coaches will join us as well. And we'll bring you Decals with Dads in the first game against Copperas Cove on the 25th. Then we will start the Georgetown High School Football Coaches Show live this year. Mesquite Creek Outfitters, come join us there live there on the square. Food will be available there. We'll have the kids out, Coach Griffin out each week to talk all things Georgetown football as we talk about a recap of the week before and a look ahead to the next opponent. So for 2023 Media Day, we're done. We've had fun. It's an experience, and the best thing is everything works. And so we're ready for Decals with Dads, and we're ready for Friday night against the Copperas Cove Bulldogs on August the 25th. Coach Griffin, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
And we will be live back here on the SHN Network under First Responder Broadcasting. Remember, if you can't be in the stands to support these kids, be online, watch them, and enjoy all things Georgetown football. That's what we're going to do for tonight. We're going to Kelly's house to do some more work on the broadcast to get ready.
All right.
And then maybe enjoy the pool in a little bit so we can cool down. But remember, the one thing I say every time, and I'm not going to forget it, it doesn't cost you a dime to be kind. Be kind to somebody out there. Help somebody that needs a lending hand. It'll make you a better person in the end. Thanks for joining us tonight. Coach Griffin and the Georgetown Eagles Media Day has come to a close, and we'll let you go home.
All right,
Thanks for joining us, guys. Have a good night.